Good morning. Good morning. It's another episode of the Truth Bombs and Coffee Show with Dr. Brook and Kornelia. Which side of the screen is she on? Thank you guys for joining us this morning. Not again, but every other week we go on either 1 week on Cornelia, 1 week on my channel. And so this is my time. This is my opportunity for you as my friends and followers on Facebook to see the show here. And then you can also connect and take the journey with us every single episode, back and forth. So Cornelia and I really absolutely enjoy doing this show, seeing the flow of events and see what comes up about it. Essentially, this show started as a result of really wanting to share our truth. And, we're living in a world right now where truth is almost getting looked down upon. If it's not a truth that you agree with, then it's not okay or it's not tolerated. And so we really want to kind of shed some light into other, streams of thought and really just allow people to be empowered in their truth and in their, standing in their truth, in their light, and in their convictions, whatever that is. This is not a show where we tell you it's this way, you need to do things this way or that way. This is a show about us sharing our truth and in hopes of giving you permission or allowing you the confidence to share your truth, whatever that looks like. So, Cornelia, do you have anything to add, or would you like to just say hello?
Yes, and hello. It's an honor and a pleasure to be with you as always. I love when we come here to talk about truth bombs and coffee. And truth bombs, we what this show is about is occasionally we'll drop some truth bombs that are like, wow, that was a bomb. And then now what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about like what is your inner truth calling
Mhm.
you to speak to? What is it? Because right now I use astrology as a tool. And so the planets right now, they're in Libra, and I'm a Libra. So it's easy for me because I have mastered how to have a really adoring and loving relationship with myself and holding that bar really, really high. And what's super awesome about that is because I will not tolerate, I will not have any ugly behavior, I will not have any nastiness happening in my inner life with how I think about myself, with how I feel about myself, and with my inner circle. Because we know the world is nasty and there's a lot of nasty things and a lot of hurtful things that are happening, but we
Mhm.
know that it all starts within. So the most important relationship that you can have is with yourself and your divine. And
Yep.
then when you cultivate that relationship to be so loving, so adoring, so juicy, that then you bring that relationship to all the other ways in which your relationships play out, the dynamics that play out with your work, with your friends, with your family. And it's really hard when relationships leave our life because one person believes in something and another person believes in another thing, and where we can't seem to find common ground. And, every person is living based on their belief system and their knowing. So
Mhm.
my belief system and my knowing is that I really feel like, we can talk things out. We can always build a bridge and find common ground. We can make space for each other to say, let me try to understand where you're coming from. Could you help me to understand what you're talking about and where you're coming from? Because I really want to understand, and being that role model and being that example. Does that make sense, Dr. Brooke?
Absolutely. I'm like, yes, yes, yes. Common ground, building a bridge, learning to just love humanity, right? Like we all have different viewpoints and we have all different, thoughts about different things. And that's what makes the world so unique and so beautiful. The color green, maybe somebody doesn't like the color green or they prefer to wear red or orange or, it's so beautiful, the uniqueness. And so having a sense of knowingness of who you are, like you were mentioning, just know, like coming back to that, like loving yourself so deeply, you don't get derailed by all of the outside chaos coming in at us, right? Telling us what we need to think about things, telling us that there's misinformation about this or that or whatever, right? Whatever side of the thought process you're on. But the reality is so often in practice, I'm seeing patients that are asking questions. What do you think? Do you think I should do this? Do you think I should do that? Do you think da, 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 da? And as a doctor, the word doctor means to teach. And so it is my job to get to teach patients, how to tune into the wisdom that their body holds so deeply inside and how incredibly amazing it is. And so by tuning into what the body says, you don't need to actually ask all of these outward questions to people. It's great to ask questions. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we need to have a basis of, like, a foundational basis of who we know we are and what our truth is, so that when we ask a question, if it's an answer that doesn't necessarily fit with what we know to be our truth, then we just acknowledge, thank you, and move on. It doesn't have to be a hate cycle and spitting venom and you're an evil villain, and but I mean, like, this is I have to chuckle sometimes because it's like, if you don't laugh, you're gonna
Yes.
be totally, like, sucked up into the nasty darkness that they want to kind of keep perpetuating.
Yeah, and we can totally see that, that we have been uninvited. This is I like that word. We've been uninvited from certain relationships. And
Right.
whenever we feel like we've been uninvited from certain relationships, that gives us the ability again to tune into your inner self. And as a
Yeah.
relationship mastery coach, spiritual guidance coach, I support you in the questions and answering the question of what is it that you really need?
Mhm.
What is it that you really need? And most women don't even ask themselves that question because they've been running around taking care of everyone else and making sure that all the people pleasing, making sure that everybody else is taken care of, and they don't even look and ask themselves that very very deep important question. And what is it
Absolutely.
that you need, babe? What is it that you need? And then when you talk about what your needs are, and you actually bring, I need time, I need space, I want to do some research, I need to take better care of myself, I need more time to work out, I want to change this, I need this. And having permission to get your needs met by you being inquisitive and asking yourself, what is it that you need? And that's the first place to begin. Really, discovering, as you talked about, not giving your power away to outside sources, and really ask yourself the own inner question. So when
Mhm.
people come to me and they say, "Hey, Kay, I'm just lost right now. I don't know what's going on. I don't know." I guide them back into themselves so that they can again put the question where it needs to go. What is it that you really need, and what's really true for you? And learn how to be unapologetic about what your feelings are. And that's a really, really important piece, because if you don't put yourself first, if you don't do it, then nobody else will either. But if you do it, then everyone else has to follow that new foundation. And that's what's brilliant about that.
Absolutely. I'd love to just share a personal experience of work that I did with you just this last week, if you don't mind. You okay
Right?
that with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So I've been, going through a period of my life, and I've been on what you could call, quote unquote, the personal development journey, right? The self awakening and really learning what I need, right? Asking those good questions and figuring out, like, not being a character in my life, but being a participant in what's happening. And um So I would say, over the last 10 or 11 years that, I've watched mental blocks get pulled away and like different things happen. But there's still been these things that are holding me back, right? Like one of the big things, and I was sharing with a dear friend of mine the other night, was that I feel like I have this like um time clock sitting on my shoulder, and it just ding ding, you got to do, oh, you got, oh, no time, no time, you got to go, 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 go. And just merely sitting down and being has never been part of who I am. Even like my meditation journey, like meditation has made a huge impactful difference in my life, but it's a box to check sometimes. Like I have an app, it tracks, it says you've meditated this many days, and I'm like, yeah, got my check. Is it really serving me in that way? And I'm challenging you this, and I'm asking you as the viewers and the audience listening, are you actually doing something to have impactful growth in your life, or are you doing it to check a box? Because I realized I was doing things to check a box.
That's really
Now,
good.
yeah, it doesn't mean that it hasn't been impactful, but it probably could have been way more impactful had I been more in tune with actually making it a practice, right? So, anyways, I've been going through a time of darkness. Okay, the world is in a dark state right now, but personally in my life has been going through a period of darkness. But it is amazing because I've had this incredible light going on inside. And when you have people in your world, right? Cornelia mentioned the fact that we've been uninvited to certain things based on choices that we've made. That's fine. But what I've also realized with those uninvitations or getting non-invited to things, it's opened up doors and opportunities to get invites to places that your soul wants to be. And so this relationship that I have with Cornelia, I reached out to her. I said, hey, send me some love, send me some light. I'm going through some stuff. Jumped on a call. We talked, and she challenged me. She challenged me with those questions. And she said, you're still giving your power away. You're still giving your power away. And as much as I thought that I had reached this spiritual utopia and that I had no way, it was clear as day when she asked me, well, what about this? Do you see that as an example of, I'm like, oh my gosh, I am giving my power away. I am allowing someone to penetrate my energetic field and to make change or make, ugh, right? Like, I know for the podcast recording, listening to it on audio, when I'm making faces, it's not as, you're going to be like, what? But I'm just making like this, ugh, face. Like, it's not as, you know, like, it's a icky feeling when you allow someone to kind of intertwine into your energetic space.
I
And
want
so
to, yeah,
yes, go. No, but I'm just saying, like, she challenged me with that, and finish.
well, it's, we talked about it even before we went live on the podcast today that, some of these things that are coming up right now for you are coming up so that you can really fully stand in your authority, in your sovereign power as a divine feminine leader and be in your true soul, essence. And that's
Yeah.
really what this is about. And wherever we've given our power away in the past, and even in other lifetimes, which is also cell memory and trauma that we're clearing right now. And that was also what was taking place. But what was really important, and what's so courageous of you to share this. So, we support each other, we're each other's allies.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
support me when I need
Hmm.
support, which I want to talk about here too, because
Hmm.
I just reached out to you and said, hey, check this out. This is what I think what's going on with me. Can you check this
Right,
for me? What do you think about this?
right.
So this is how we support each other. And that's why it's important that you surround yourself with people that will hold you in your highest, not in your
Hmm.
lowest toxic, not depleting your power, not telling you to dim your light or stay small or stay behind, but in a
Hmm.
way where you can really fully shine so that you can really fully support others. Now, would you mind, Dr. Brooks, since you brought it up, would you mind if I share that testimonial right here,
No,
right? What you said.
absolutely.
I mean, this was so powerful.
Absolutely.
Oh my God, this was really great because this was coming from deep within your soul when you texted this out. And you said, "Thank you, thank you. I had so much peace within last night after our talk and working with my patient. I honestly felt that it was some of my best work in working with a physical body to date. I'm packing my guns and I'm standing in my reclaimed power. You are a beautiful soul, and I'm so glad our paths are aligned." So, this is what you said. And so, this is very unapologetic. This is very vulnerable. And this is very in like, I'm doing this. I've got
Mhm.
this. Yes, I will. And yes, I can. Where prior to the call, there were the muddy waters, there was anxiety, and there was just icky feeling, like she said. And so then she knew she had a resource. She
Yep.
knew she had a resource, and basically, the resource, she contacted the resource, and then the resource was made available to her like that. Where it's the same thing that my niece did the other day. She sent me a text too. She said, "Please send me some love. I'm thinking of you." So usually when things like that come in, it's like, okay, I see. They don't want to ask for what they really need. Like, can we jump on a call right now? I need support. So that's okay. Kind of
Right.
going around and about it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay, yeah, I know this one. So yeah, then I make myself available to my support team that also supports me and the people that I love and adore and that I care about. And I'm absolutely invested in you, Dr. Brook, for many reasons. I have my list of reasons why I'm invested in you, that I could just name off, just because we are one. Number one,
Mhm.
we are soul aligned, and we're aligned with our message and what it is that we're doing together. We're both clients. We're clients to each
Mhm.
other. We're
Mhm.
friends. So we're
Mhm.
building an amazing partnership and spiritual friendship that
Mhm.
is long lasting and that will feed us and support us. So knowing who your resources are is a really big, important piece.
Mhm.
And what ended up happening, so we got that taken care of. And then, I had been dealing with this weird thing in this last few weeks. I went, no, actually, it was about a week ago. I went to this restaurant and I had some food there. And since that time, there was some weird things going on. And
Mhm.
so it was just coming straight through me. It was just,
Mhm.
I wasn't. And so then all of a sudden, I'm asking myself the question, well, is it the coffee now? Should I be giving up the coffee now? Should I be giving, is it the cream? Is it, what I'm, I know my
We're we might have to retitle the show "Truth Bombs in Water."
Bob's in water. Look, she subscribed. She said, if you have to drink water, drink it through a straw.
Yeah.
And look at how I take that direction seriously. So there
Good
you go.
job.
Because I'm not playing because
Yeah.
that's the thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, so it was, I felt there was something going on that was definitely happening. And so I asked her to check it out. She came back and she said there's a low viral uh
Bacterial.
a low
Yep.
bacterial in the gut,
Yep.
in the gut. And I would bet it was from that restaurant because I
I
know
bet. Yep.
when it started. And
Yep.
it was a all you can eat buffet where I was celebrating dinner with the family.
Yep.
All you can eat buffet. Are you kidding me? So anyway, you know, that's where we were. But
Yeah.
this is what happened. So now I've got to clear this out, right? The body
Mhm.
has the ability to self regenerate and self heal. But
Absolutely.
I was coming to Dr. Brooke and I was saying, is it the coffee? Is it this? Is it this? Can you check this out? Because I don't, I thought it was going to be gone by now, but it's not.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so then now she gave me, and I even said, is it are my valve
Yeah.
open? What is it? And
Yeah.
then you helped me right away with that part and gave me
Mhm.
what I'm supposed to do with that now. And so now
Yeah.
I'm moving into that, and now I can take better care of myself the
Mhm.
same way that when you messaged me, I
Mhm.
supported you in that now you can take better care of yourself and your patients, and me taking better care of myself and my clients. So it's the same thing. It's all the same thing, right?
Yep. Yep. It's so connected. So connected. Yeah.
And so I wanted to tell you something else,
Mhm.
Dr. Brook, that I hadn't told you yet off screen. And there's this, remember I had asked you to put together a protocol for me for, to build my immunity when I was going
Mhm.
traveling. And so
Mhm.
that, I wanted to make sure that with people that I'm being around so that I had extra
Yep.
protection. And
Yep.
in that pack, you had put the Q-sectin, what's it called?
Quercetin?
Yeah.
Quercetin, yeah.
And so I just want to tell you what ended up happening with that particular, and this is something I want to stay on forever, by the way. I want to stay on that one because I've noticed it actually took care of another underlining issue that I had going on that I've noticed that since I started taking it, something has changed because I'm
Wow.
so stinking in tune with my body
Yep. Yep.
that I noticed that, oh my gosh, this thing here, because I've never even heard of that vitamin, that
Yeah.
supplement before.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
I looked it up and I saw that it lowers your blood pressure, it's
Mhm.
viral and
Mhm.
antifungal, and it's
Mhm.
reduces it's an anti-inflammatory.
Yep.
Started doing some research
Yep.
on it, and it's good for the heart and all these things, bringing
Yep.
inflammation down. But before I started taking that, I used to have this lingering, and it was like I've become so used to it that it was always there. But it was like this sinus thing where whenever I would put
Mhm.
my eyes up in my head, in the back of my head, I could feel a little pressure. Since I started taking,
Wow. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
God, oh my God, I'm like, can you believe it? So I'm going to be placing a new order of that one.
Nice.
We're going to do that. And then the other one. And the other one was um, that shake thing, that metabolic thing.
Opti metabolics. Yeah.
Love it. I love that one. I want to have that one on hand because I'm actually using it as a meal.
Yay,
It's
good.
so
Yeah,
nutritious and
it
it's
is.
amazing. And
Yeah.
it feels unlike any other protein
Yes.
shakes or things that are out there with
Yeah.
water, just with water. And it's
I
like,
know.
oh my God. So I'll be ordering another box of that. And definitely, what is the other vitamin? The
Quercetin.
quercetin. Well, I
Yeah.
already knew about it.
Yeah. I do want to make a caveat. We have a couple minutes before we end. So with Cornelia's story and her nutritional needs are very different than another person's nutritional needs. And so my huge foundational, principle on health, if you haven't already heard, is that the body is very unique and it requires only very specific items that your needs at that time, not us throwing a bunch of stuff at it.
Yeah.
Cornelia's body needs those particular supplements. If you are interested in getting a wellness plan or wellness kit put together to help you stay well during these uncharted waters that we're moving through, reach out.
Yeah.
Definitely, can help you. Like this is Cornelia's testimony that these supplements and this specific nutritional plan, because I gave her the dosing as well. She's not just taking it based on the serving size on the bottle. She has a very specific dose to her bodily needs. So let's just make that clear. And before someone runs out to the CVS or Walgreens and buys quercetin, thinking
Actually,
Cornelia has no sinus infection.
I I really want to thank you so much for
Of
that. You have
course.
no idea how long I've had that and how that was like a natural thing that my body, you had mentioned this before in our videos before and some of
Yeah.
the videos that you're doing on your YouTube channel, which by the way, everybody should go subscribe to Dr. Brooke Sheehan on YouTube and Cornelia Stephanie on YouTube.
Yeah.
Subscribe because it's all
Yeah.
about your health and well-being.
Yep.
And but you had made mention of that the body goes through its phases, and when it's ready for the next thing, it's ready for the next thing. And
Yep.
for the next thing. But anyway, so I'm so delighted about what just happened.
Yay.
That's really great. And I want
Cool.
to let everyone know that if you're looking for some spiritual guidance, some spiritual mentorship, some emotional processing, I specialize in trauma work and I specialize in women's empowerment with non-apology, with like full on. Contact me, Kornelia Stephanie, instant message me,
Yeah.
email me at radio@korneliastephanie.com, and we'll get you started. We'll have a discussion to find out what exactly it is that you need right now, and then we're going to go get it.
Amen. Cornelia is amazing at that, guys. So just putting it out there. You heard my whole story. Or if you didn't, if you missed that part, go back and listen. Make sure you catch the whole episode. This was a really fun one. As always, Cornelia, thank you so much for your time. I love doing these things with you, or these shows with you every Thursday morning. We will be back on Cornelia's channel 9:30 next Thursday, October 7th. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions. We're here for you. Stand up, be your own light, and speak your truth.
Get it, girls. Get it, girls. Hey, love it. Thanks, Dr.
All right, bye.